Antarctica is the planet's ultimate vault. It is a land of white silence, covered in a shroud of ice up to 3 miles thick in some places. It contains 90% of the world's ice and, arguably, 95% of the world's most unsettling conspiracy theories. It's a blank canvas where we project our wildest ideas, but beneath the speculation lies a question that refuses to thaw. What if this vast frozen fortress is hiding the remnants of a civilization older than recorded history? To explore that possibility, we have to follow the breadcrumbs scattered across geology, myth, and satellite imagery, all while trying not to get blown away by the continent's furious 200-mile-per-hour winds. Let's go deeper into the ice. Number 1. The tropical ghost of the South Pole. If Antarctica had always been a lifeless ice block, the mystery would collapse instantly. But the continent keeps offering clues that are just strange enough to keep the fire of speculation alive. We know, as a scientific fact, that Antarctica wasn't always a freezer. Millions of years ago, it was a lush world of temperate forests, deep lakes, and thriving ecosystems. The question isn't if it was habitable, but when the deep freeze actually took hold. While mainstream science suggests it's been frozen for 35 million years, newer models suggest significant melting occurred as recently as 400,000 years ago. In geological terms, that's yesterday. It raises the haunting possibility: was there a window of time where someone, human or otherwise, called these green valleys home before the ice swept in like a planetary curtain? Number 2. The Piri Reis Map, a map from a forgotten age. In 1513, an Ottoman admiral named Piri Reis compiled a world map that has left historians scratching their heads for centuries. The map shows the western coast of Africa, the eastern coast of South America, and, most impossibly, the northern coast of Antarctica. Here's the catch: the map depicts the Antarctic coastline without any ice. Not only that, but it shows topographical details that were only confirmed in the 20th century using sonar that can see through the glaciers. How could a 16th century sailor know the shape of a landmass hidden under 2 miles of ice? Believers argue that Piri Reis had access to source maps from a lost, seafaring civilization, one that mapped the world before the poles shifted and the ice took over. Number 3. Einstein and the unreliable thermostat. How does a continent go from tropical to frozen? The most compelling and controversial explanation is Charles Hapgood's theory of Earth crust displacement. Hapgood proposed that the Earth's outer shell isn't anchored firmly. Instead, it can shift in a geological instant, dragging entire continents from warm climates into the polar freezer. Imagine the Earth as a bowling ball covered in a loose layer of dough. If the ball spins a certain way, the dough can slide. Even Albert Einstein was fascinated by this, writing a foreword for Hapgood's book and calling the idea worthwhile. If the crust shifted, a thriving Antarctic civilization wouldn't have had centuries to migrate. They would have been snap frozen, their cities turned into icicles and buried under growing mountains of snow in a matter of generations. Number 4. The Pyramid Connection. An Antarctic handbook. There is a bold, wildly imaginative theory that the pyramids of Egypt, the temples of the Maya, and the ziggurats of Mesopotamia all share a common ancestor: Antarctica. The idea is that as the ice began to smother the southern continent, its inhabitants fled in all directions, to South America, Africa, and Asia. They brought with them a specific architectural handbook. This would explain why cultures separated by vast oceans all built massive stone pyramidal structures with celestial alignments. Theorists suggest the original pyramid is still sitting at the bottom of the world, preserved in a toasty, sub-glacial pocket, waiting for us to rediscover the source of human civilization. Number 5. The Mountains of the Great Divide. Hidden beneath the ice sheet is a feature that sounds like something out of a fantasy novel: the Transantarctic Mountains. This range is over 2,000 miles long and is buried under enough ice to make a snow cone the size of Texas. Recently, geologists from the University of Wisconsin used chemical time capsules within the rocks to study their history. They found evidence that these mountains have been pulsing, rising and falling, heating and cooling for over 300 million years. This means the landscape below is not a flat, frozen plain. It is a world of jagged peaks, deep valleys, and potentially massive caverns that haven't felt the touch of a glacier in millions of years. Number 6. The Google Earth Doorways and Portals. The internet loves a good mystery, and Google Earth has provided plenty. Satellites have captured images in the remote Antarctic wilderness that look like massive, symmetrical doorways carved into the rock. One specific anomaly near a Japanese research station looks like a grand entrance fit for a megalomaniac supervillain, while glaciologists insist these are just stranded icebergs, shaped by katabatic winds. Winds so powerful they can carve stone. The shapes are hauntingly geometric. Whether they are natural rock outcrops or the literal front door to an ancient bunker, they serve as a reminder that we are looking at a continent we have mapped less than the surface of Mars. Number 7. The creatures living in the impossible dark. In a groundbreaking expedition to the Filchner-Rhone ice shelf, geologists drilled a half-mile hole through the ice, hoping to find simple seafloor mud. Instead, their camera hit a rock, and the rock was alive. Glued to the stone were sponges and strange, stalked organisms living in total, crushing darkness and sub-zero temperatures. This discovery broke every rule of biology. These creatures have no access to sunlight and no obvious food source. They are the ultimate survivors, thriving in a place that should be a graveyard. If tiny sponges can survive for millions of years in the sub-ice darkness, what else could be lurking in the vast, unexplored oceans beneath the shelf? Number 8. The 900-mile mystery pipeline. The mystery of the Antarctic sponges goes deeper. To survive, these filter feeders need nutrients, usually provided by sunlight-fed plankton, but these creatures are located up to 900 miles away from the nearest open water. For food to reach them, it would have to travel a distance equivalent to a cross-country road trip, passing through thousands of other hungry mouths along the way. Scientists are stumped. Is there an unseen food pipeline flowing through the dark? Is there a heat source from the Earth's core keeping a hidden ecosystem alive? We've only seen an area of this sub-ice world the size of a tennis court, leaving an area twice the size of Texas still shrouded in mystery. Number 9. Space rocks and the archaeology of the stars. Antarctica isn't just a place for geologists, it's a goldmine for space archaeologists. Because the landscape is a pristine white sheet, meteorites that fall from the sky stay exactly where they landed, perfectly preserved in the deep freeze. Scientists have recovered over 45,000 meteorites here, including rocks from Mars and the Moon. It is the best place on Earth to study the history of the solar system. But it raises a curious question. If the ice is such a perfect preservative for rocks from space, how well would it preserve a human artifact? If an ancient explorer dropped a tool or built a stone hut 10,000 years ago, it wouldn't rot. It would be waiting for us, as fresh as the day it was made. Number 10. The Heroic Age, modern ruins in the ice. Finally, we have the heroic age of exploration. In the early 1900s, men like Scott, Shackleton, and Amundsen built huts and supply depots in their race to the pole. Because the Antarctic air is so dry and cold, these sites are perfectly preserved. You can walk into a hut built in 1911 and find sealskin boots, tins of cocoa, and handwritten journals that look brand new. This is the recent archaeology of Antarctica, and it proves that the continent is a meticulous archivist. It doesn't let things go. Whether it's a 100-year-old supply crate or a 10,000-year-old city, Antarctica holds on to its secrets with a frozen iron grip. Antarctica is the last great frontier of the unknown. It is a place where science often sounds like science fiction, and where the deeper we drill, the more questions we find. Is there a city under the ice? Maybe not in the way the movies show it, but there is undoubtedly a history there, written in the rocks, the ice, and the strange life forms that refuse to die. As the ice continues to shift and melt, the vault is cracking, and whatever is inside is finally coming to light. What do you think is the biggest secret hidden at the South Pole? Is it a lost civilization or a geological mystery we aren't ready to understand? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to stay on the cutting edge of these mysteries, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon. We've got a lot more to uncover. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next deep dive.